Thanks for tuning into Skylands Weekly. I'm your host, Melissa Estock on Channel 10. This week's show is a full half hour covering Hurricane Irene in Sussex County. The storm hit many parts of our county, and Skylands Weekly was out covering parts of the storm's damage. Sheriff Mike Strada sat down with us to discuss the many ways our community prepared and where the Sussex County Sheriff's Department lent a hand. Take a look. We started preparing for the storm probably a week in advance. We opened up our Emergency Operations Center early on Saturday. We had been conversing with the state back and forth as far as what we were going to need for resources, what was available. And we had all our officers in place and ready to go, and with all of our equipment, and ready for a full response. The county, in different areas got hit harder than others. Most of the areas where there were streams and rivers obviously got impacted more by the flooding. But we spent a lot of time over in Branchville. Early on Sunday morning, we went over there and assisted them with an evacuation because one of the streams had come up and taken out a few houses, and it was quite chaotic for a few hours there. So we sent a lot of our resources over there to help with the evacuation and so on and so forth. We worked with the Red Cross in setting up a shelter over at the tech school. So we have our community emergency response teams members with the Red Cross over there. We set that shelter up on Saturday before the storm in preparation for the storm. We did have upwards of 30 people in that shelter at one point, a few of them actually from Branchville because we did evacuate Branchville. But we have other resources. We have sign boards like you see. The state has those boards, road closed. We have quite a few of those. We have a lot of barricades that we use, cones. We had our command post out. We had boats that were available if need be. So, we really utilized just about everything we had this storm, too. The local emergency management coordinators were calling us and requesting equipment and manpower and so on and so forth, and we were just responding to their calls. So we were in Green Township, we were in Stillwater, Wantage. We were all over the place. Whoever requested us, the local emergency management coordinators, we would try to accommodate them and get the necessary equipment out there and manpower to assist the municipalities. Right now we have inmates over in Schwartzwood, over in Stillwater, filling up sandbags. They have a river that overflowed and it's right up against their firehouse over there. So the inmates are hard at work over there. We also had, I forgot to tell you earlier, on Friday we had the inmates filling sandbags in preparation for this storm. And it's a good thing we did. We had 1,200 sandbags filled by Saturday afternoon, and I think we used just about every single one of them, so it was good. And what would happen is municipalities would call, the local emergency management would call, and they would come down and pick them up, or we would transport them out there. Obviously, there's going to be some little glitches here and there, but for the most part, I'm real happy. I can't be any happier with the men and women that work with me. They really stepped up. We have people that have been out now for, almost 2 days straight, very little sleep, and that's a lot to ask of somebody when they leave their family at home, going to help other people. It's kind of tough when you leave your own family, but I can't say enough about the men and women that I work with. And, the citizens requested us, and we stepped up and did what we had to do, and I feel it was a great success. And if there was anything that went wrong, it will certainly be addressed, and we'll do everything to prevent it. But for the most part, I would say that 99%, we were there and we were successful. I just want to let the citizens know that, whatever you need, we're here for you, and continue to call us, and we'll assist whatever we can.
In the days leading up to the hurricane, it actually ended up being a tropical storm when it hit Sussex County. For the week prior, we were doing planning with the local municipalities, pre-positioning assets, and lining up personnel and resources. Everybody's doing a great job in the county at all levels. They're using the resources they have to their fullest. And
what are some of the resources that we have?
Your municipal DPWs, county road department, county engineering, the municipal engineers, your emergency services, your fire, your first aiders, your volunteer CERT program, and the Red Cross. Just prior to the storm's arrival, we established a shelter at the VOTEC for an evacuation shelter for residents, utilizing community emergency response team members and members of the Red Cross.
What?
We have inmates deploying sandbags. The sandbags were pre-filled by those same inmates over the weekend, and now they're out slushing through the water and putting them up to protect houses and the firehouse.
What does that mean actually to Sussex County to have that, be able to have the inmates go out and actually help our town?
It's a tremendous resource. It's basically free labor. and they're there and they'll do whatever we ask them to do.
If you need assistance, make sure to contact your town's Municipal Emergency Manager Coordinator. Coming up, we go to Sparta Township and see what damage Irene left behind with Sergeant Beebe. And later, meteorologist Tony Salimo helps us track the new hurricane headed towards the U.S. We'll be right back.
Skylands Weekly is being sponsored in part by Newton Medical Center, proud member of the Atlantic Health System. Learn more about the many ways they can care for you and your family by visiting them online at atlantichealth.org.
Who changed the locks?
Try the bell.
Propane. Exceptional energy.
Eastern Propane, 973-827-3000.
At Faith A. Ullman & Associates, they've established a firm focused solely on the needs of clients facing divorce and other family law disputes. At Faith A. Ullman & Associates, they are renowned throughout the legal community for their honest and straightforward outlook, effective strategy in court, and solid record of results.
I want people to know that not only do I practice here, but I live here, so it's very important for me to make sure that people feel confident in me, not just as an attorney, but also confident as a community member as well.
Faith A. Ullman & Associates, helping families through life's transitions. Contact them at 579-9700 or go to faudivorcelaw.com.
Before you head out here,
or fishing here,
then you gotta shop us here.
and don't forget to check out our specials here at simonpetersport.com.
No matter what your interest, Simon Peters Sport Company can assist you. From product selection and purchase to valuable insight about your outdoor interests, hunting, fishing, archery, and more. We love what you love. Conveniently located on Route 206 in Newton. Make Simon Peters Sport Company your outdoor sports store. And remember, online or on the road, shop here before you head out there.
It's time for the Polaris Factory Authorized Clearance, your last chance for incredible deals on the best machines of 2011. Get up to $1,000 in rebates and financing as low as 2.99% on legendary Sportsman, powerful Rangers, and razor sharp razors. Up to $1,000 in rebates and financing as low as 2.99%. Only during the Polaris Factory Authorized Clearance.
Available locally at Ledgewood Power Sports, 584-6488.
Welcome back. Thanks for watching. Sergeant John Paul Beebe from the Sparta Township Police Department got me up close to the damage left from the storm. Take a look as we bring you to the mudslide in Eagles Nest Development and check out the other damage in Sparta. We're here at Eagles Nest Development in Sparta with Sergeant John Paul Beebe, and he's going to tell us what's behind us. Hurricane Irene obviously hit. You said this isn't as bad as it was in 2002, you said?
The year 2000, we had a flood up here in Sparta. It was isolated to just this location, like a 2 square mile location in Sparta. We had a slow-moving rain squall that stalled over the township and dumped 9 inches of rain. And when that happened in 2000, the majority of this hill that you see behind you slid down on the Route 517 across the railroad tracks onto the bypass. What you see behind you right now, this wasn't quite 9 inches of rain, but it was a significant amount of rainfall that caused this mudslide. And as you can see, this mudslide is following the road. It didn't spill over into this person's yard. This mudslide is probably, we saw the other end, it's probably a quarter of a mile long. You get the trees and the rocks, it's completely impassable. It's going to take several weeks to clean this up.
Just tell us what else is going on in Sparta.
In Sparta right now, we probably have about 5,000 people still out of power. We haven't gotten an ETA from JCP&L when that power may be restored. Depending on which official you talk to, it may be a couple hours or it may be several days. We still have about 10 roads that are still closed due to downed trees wrapped in live wires. JCP&L did come up and turn the power off, so those wires now are dead. But we still have several roads that are still impassable. We're working to try and clear those roads and get those roads open. Route 15 was closed for about 10 hours yesterday. That That road is now open. Route 517 into Augsburg and Franklin was closed. That's now been open. It's all a question of getting the resources out there to get the trees removed. As you saw when we came in here, Main Street was being cleared by the county. The township was clearing Station Road. So everybody's pretty busy today. We've got a beautiful day in stark contrast to yesterday, but everybody's busy working, trying to get the roads reopened.
I know, isn't it crazy? Look at the weather outside. There's no clouds after all of this devastation.
Top 10 days, you know, they say it's beautiful out, but certainly by being out here today, you would never have thought all this happened just less than 12 hours ago.
And of course, you guys, along with all the road departments and everything, are hardworking. I know you said you've been on for a few days now, not hours, a few days. So you guys are still working at it and making sure everyone stays safe in this weather.
That's correct. The Sparta Police Department, everybody was on duty. We had 28 officers on for the entirety of the storm. There's still some holdovers. I know command personnel, the Lieutenant Shetting, who was the incident commander, he's still trying to put a bow on everything that happened here. So he hasn't been home yet in a couple of days. But the bottom line is the mission was accomplished. No injuries, no deaths, and that's the bottom line. I mean, all this will get cleaned up. All the repairs will be made. That's what insurance companies are for. Our job is public safety, and we did okay here.
I know, and I went to actually some local stores. They were out of bread, they were out of batteries, they were out of generators, so people were ready for this storm. So is there anything else you want to add? Obviously, like we said, there's a lot of stuff going on behind us and in all the other towns. So anything you'd like to add about Hurricane Irene?
The only thing I would add is this is the first major storm we've dealt with in this county. It certainly won't be the last. And in the future, when there are roads closed and there's barricades up, don't travel onto those roads. They're closed for a reason. We had a lot of people disable their cars in standing water. What they thought was only several inches deep, which was actually several feet deep. And when you see wires on the road or wires wrapped in the tree that just fell on your car, there's nothing you can do about it. Leave it alone. Consider every wire live and lethal. Because it takes a while for the power company to get out here. We got hit pretty good. They got to turn everything off. That's the first thing they do, is turn all the power off to make them safe. But when you have people wandering around, not paying attention to the signs, fortunately nobody was injured or killed, but it could very easily happen.
Thank you again, Sergeant Beebe. Keep in mind, I was escorted around town to get close to these sites, and you should not attempt to get close to any fallen trees or power lines for your safety. Up next, we visit some residents in Lake Mohawk to see how they survived during the storm. Stay tuned.